Welcome back, Sugar Gliders. Welcome back, Sugar Gliders. Now that we had a chance to compare some rational numbers that have fractions and decimals, we're going to mix things up a little bit here, so pay close attention. Again, we're going to look at number lines just so you have a sense of where these numbers are on a number line for their size. To compare and order rational numbers, two steps. First, write them in the same form. So we've been practicing changing fractions to decimals on our calculators, so that's all we have to do. Once we get them both in decimal form, then we can compare the numbers. So for A, I have negative 0.51, and we say that negative 0 and 51 hundredths, compared to negative 8/15. I'm going to get out my calculator, and on my calculator I'm going to punch in 8 divided by 15, and once you do that you can see that it will be a repeating decimal. We put that bar notation above the 3. So just so you can see the comparison of these two. I know how to compare numbers. I always look at my first digit in the ones place. They're the same. Zeros are the same. So I move to my tenths place, and both are fives. So now I have to move to my hundredths place. So I'm really comparing right here a 1 and a 3. But remember, they're negative. So which one is going to be to the right on the number line? Let's take a look at a number line. I'm going to graph a negative 4 here to the right, a negative 5 in the middle, and then a negative 6 at the end. And actually, that's going to be a point 4, point negative 5, and point negative 6. Since they're in the hundredths, I'm going to add a 0. Doesn't change the value, just gets that number up to the hundredths. And then I'm going to look and see where negative 5.1 would fall. So negative 5.1 would fall right there. Negative 5.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then negative 6.0. So I'm going to graph my negative 5.1, and then I'm going to find negative 5.3. There's 1, 2, 3, negative 5.3. And the one to the right is going to be greater. The one to the left is going to be least. So negative 0.51 is greater than negative 0.53. Okay, use the number line if you need to. If you know by looking at those numbers in the decimal form, you can go ahead and do that. All right, we have a set of numbers here, negative 2.46, negative 2 and 22/25, and negative 2 and 1/10. We need to order them from least to greatest. I am going to look at my fractions and turn them into decimals. So you can do this on a calculator or you can do it mentally. I know that's going to be negative 2 point 22 divided by 25 is 0.88. Okay, this one, I'm just going to use what I know about place value. Negative 2 and 1/10 looks like that. So now here are my three numbers I have to order from least to greatest. I'm going to put them on a number line so we get a sense of where they fall on the number line. To the far right, I'm going to do negative 2. And to the far left, I'm going to do negative 3 because they all fall somewhere within there. I'm going to add a decimal and 2 zeros because those decimals go to the hundredths place. So I'm going to get the 0 to the hundredths place. Right in the middle then would be negative 2.50 between negative 2 and negative 3. So that's all I'm going to graph for now, just like I said, to get a sense of where these numbers fall. So I'm going to graph negative 2.46. That's going to be closer to negative 2.5. I'm going to graph negative 2.88. That's going to be closer to negative 3. And then I'm going to graph negative 2.1, which is going to be closer to negative 2. Now remember, left to right is least to greatest. I'm going to go back and look at my original number. So negative 2.88 was actually negative 2 and negative 2 and 22/25. That's the smallest because it's to the right, or to the left, I'm sorry. Then we have negative 2.46. And then the original form of my negative 2.1 was that fraction negative 2 and 1/10. So the important thing is you change them all to decimals first. If you don't need to graph them, that's fine. Let's take a look at the digits. 2's are all the same, and they're all negative, so those are the same. So we go to the 10th spot. 4, 8, and 1 is what we have to compare, but we have to remember that they're negative numbers. And when they're negative numbers, that 1 is actually going to be greater than this 4, okay? And then the 4 is going to be greater than the 8. So be careful with negative numbers. Graph them if you need a visual. Turn the next page and go ahead and try these. When you are done with everything, your homework is going to be do page 394, 16 through 28. And Mr. Dennison would be happy to help you if you're stuck, so raise your hand. If you need to get a small group together, I'm sure he would help you. Have a great rest of the day.